This is a small idea I've been carrying around for quite a while now. It's not a breakthrough, it doesn't unlock hidden potential, and it won't solve your problems in 5 steps, but it has been surprisingly useful, especially on days that feel heavier than they should. Here's the idea. A lot of things feel heavier than they actually are because we quietly mix up 2 different things: what's happening and what we think that means. And they happen so close together that they feel like they're one thing, but they're not. Let me explain. Something happens. Someone doesn't reply to your message. A plan falls through. You don't feel productive. A project stalls. That's the event. By itself, it's usually small, finite. It happens and then it's over. But almost instantaneously, your mind adds a second layer, a story. This means they don't care. This means I'm falling behind. This means I'm doing something wrong. And this layer is infinite. It can loop forever. And now the situation feels heavy, not because of what's happened, but because of what you're carrying on top of it. And here's the key point. The event has weight, but the meaning we attach to it has mass. The event might last 2 minutes. The meaning can sit in your head for days. And that's why you can have a relatively normal day and still feel strangely drained at the end of it. You weren't dealing with reality all day, you were dealing with interpretation. And this isn't a personal flaw, this is how the human brain works. I mean, our brain is a pattern-seeking machine. It hates uncertainty, so the moment something happens, it rushes to explain it. And that explanation feels true, not because it is true, but because it arrived quickly. Speed can feel like certainty, a bit like how people assume someone's intelligent because they speak fast. But here's the quiet shift that helps. You don't need to stop caring, you don't need to suppress emotion, you don't need to think positively, you just need to separate the layers. Ask yourself, what actually happened? And what did my mind immediately decide it meant? That's it. For example, someone didn't reply. That's the fact. Therefore, they don't respect me. That's an interpretation. It might be true, but it might not be. But treating it as fact gives it authority it hasn't earned yet. Another example, a decision didn't produce the result I expected. That's the event. This means I misjudged my ability. That's the story you tell yourself. One is feedback from reality, the other is an identity verdict. And identity verdicts don't improve decisions, they just make the next one harder to take. What's interesting is that when you clearly separate the two, the emotion often softens organically. Not disappears, but just softens. Because you're no longer fighting reality, you're just seeing it clearly, right? And clarity is lighter than confusion. And I've noticed something else too. Most stress isn't caused by what's happening right now. It's caused by what we think this moment says about our future, our identity, our worth. We take a single data point and let it testify about our entire life. And that's a lot of responsibility to give one moment. But this way of looking at things doesn't make you passive, it makes you indifferent. If anything, it makes you more accurate. You still act, you still respond, you just stop punishing yourself with conclusions before they have evidence. For me, this hasn't made life perfect, it hasn't made me calm all the time, it just makes things lighter. Not because problems went away, but because I stopped adding unnecessary weight to them, and that's why I like this idea. It doesn't ask you to change who you are, it doesn't ask you to fix your life, it gives you a cleaner way to look at what's happening. You don't have to use it all the time, you don't have to remember it perfectly, just knowing the difference between what's happening and what it means is often enough to breathe a little easier, and sometimes, especially in 2026, that's plenty.